Welcome to Jaguar S-Type R, my 2003 Japanese re-imported S-Type R with a 4.2 litre V8 supercharged engine, and today I'm looking to do a brake upgrade. So these, believe it or not, are the Tarox Italian discs with the grooves. We've also got Tarox Strada pads in here. This time we're looking to do the rear, and what I'm going to be doing now is just looking at how we start stripping everything down. I think the first starting point will be the Brembo calipers here. What I need to do first of all is just tap through the pins, and that should then release this rattle clip just here. The other thing we also need to do here is on the performance brake setup on these cars, the parking brake is not integrated as one unit on the performance brake setup, so certainly not on this type anyway, on the earlier ones. So what we'll also have to do is remove these. So I think I could just take this face off here and then again tap back some of the pins just in here and remove the rattle clip, move that, and then that should give me enough room to pull the disc. Oh, and by the way, the tension's been released on this, and the way I did that is two ways to do it. One is via Jaguar SDD IDS. You put the parking brake, the electronic parking brake, into service mode. The other easier way of doing that, if you don't want to crack that out, is to have the ignition in position 2, put your foot firmly on the foot brake, and then push down on the parking switch in the cabin, and then return the ignition back to position 0, still with your foot on the foot brake and with your finger pointing and pushing down on the parking brake switch, and then just withdraw the barrel of the key from the ignition, just withdraw the key from the ignition and then just release everything, and this will stop this automatically locking up. So this takes a T45 Tarox display in here. I did actually loosen these off earlier because I wasn't sure how tight they'd be on. So I'm just going to withdraw this now. Nice and easy, didn't require any tapping, and it's given me the access I need. The spring clip stayed in place. That's fine. That's the spring clip out. These came out nice and easy. So, okay, couldn't use my brake puller, one of my favourite tools, but just use this punch just to do it side by side, and you can see here that's coming out quite nicely. There we go. 1, 2, there we go. What I'm going to do next is release the 13 mils just behind here. Is that in shot? I'm touching it. There's one there and there's another one lower down, so I'm just going to release that, and then what I'll do is I'll move the caliper out of the way and just hang it. So that should be nice and easy. Alright, that's fairly straightforward. I've now got the caliper supported with one of my caliper hanging thingies. You use a bit of wire if you like. It just means that you're not stressing out the brake cable too much by trying to support the weight of the brake caliper. Just need to unwind these sort of star washer clip things, so I'll get some needle nose pliers and just twist that off, and then I should just be able to release the disc. Disc is off, and you can see here the wheel hub is got signs of corrosion, so I'm going to have to clean all that off before I even attempt to offer up a new disc. That's going to take a while, so let me crack on with that and see if I can clean that up, because otherwise if I don't clean it up properly, the disc is not going to sit true and it's going to wobble and vibrate. So it's really important to clear this up. So let me have a go at that just now. Alright, I've tried to clean up the surfaces as best I can. It's really this outer one here that I'm highlighting that needs to be pretty smooth, and also this inner ring here as well, making sure that's nice and smooth. Not so worried about this. The rest of it I'll just cover in red rubber grease. Meanwhile, since I've taken the cap off the reservoir, I'm taking out some of the fluid, I'm now in a position where I can get my brake piston compressor. So on these types, these Brembo ones, you don't need to turn them. You don't need to go clockwise to wind them in like you would with traditional floating caliper piston arrangements. These ones you can literally just use this just to compress them. Don't have to, you can use other tools. I prefer this one because it's cleaner, because you've got the two pistons in here and the two over there. So I'll just wind these up, and this does it uniformly, so I can wind these completely in, just nice and easy, and I'll just turn that, and that'll move them flush with in line with the caliper, ready for when we want to fit the caliper back onto here after the disc and then put the new pads in, basically. Okay, I kept winding it in until there's a nice hard stop. I can see that all four pistons are now flush with the caliper, so what I can do is just back that off and release it. And then I think the next thing I'm going to do is break out the red rubber grease, do the surface of this and also those pistons as well. Okay, red rubber grease has been applied all in there and also on this side closest to me, just out of sight. I've also been very generous with the wheel hub as well. Some people may say I have an obsession with red rubber grease. That may be true, it may not be, but it just helps seat the new disc on, and we'll also put the star washer back on as well, just to hold it in place. But it just helps and stops the corrosion. So I think that's all good. I've tried to clean up this caliper a little bit on the front, but then we've got the new hardware just here. So let me just get my shadow out of the way. So we've got the set of pads there and also the new discs. So what I'll be doing is I'll stick a little bit of red rubber grease on the back of these, just a little smear. We've already got plenty on the pistons in there. And then what I'll also do is just spray the disc both sides with some brake cleaner, just so that we remove any protective film on there that may impact the braking effectiveness. I'll then offer up the disc to the hub, and then we'll just work on from there, I think. Good. I'm going to wind that in. Push at the same time. Alrighty. Wish this wind would die down a bit, but it is what it is. Right. Really important step here I missed out of yesterday's session when I did the other side. I did do it, but I forgot to film it. See here? This is your electronic parking brake mechanism. See, you've got quite a powerful spring just here and a little lever here. Now I'm just about to detach the lever. The reason I can do this safely is because I've got this in service mode. I'll remember to reconnect that in a little bit. First thing you want to note to do is to look to give it a bit of a move, just to make sure that the sliding caliper is still functioning okay. And that one's spot on, it's not seized or anything like that. That's really important. The next thing is, you see here, you've actually got a piston. It's not hydraulic, but you've actually got a piston that you need to wind in. Here we go. It's got a little adapter, type A, put it in, and then I'll just wind that. So let me just get the camera angle all right. Is that it? That got it? So I'm just going to wind it in until it's flush. So I'm going to push in and then just gently twist like so. These will automatically adjust anyway, but it's just really important because last time, if you don't get this right and you end up locking a disc, you have all kinds of fun and games with your electronic parking brake. So that's now done. That now means I can get the EPB assembly and put all back together again, making sure I've got the spring clip in the right place, so on and so forth, and then I should be able to just carry on with making up the rest of the components. Okay, the caliper's back on. What I'll do shortly is just offer up the new pads just here. A little smear of red rubber grease on their back. Offer them up into here. Then I'll put the little clip in and then tap in the the pins that are just down there. I have greased them with some red rubber grease, unsurprisingly. Then what I can do, once everything's in place, I'll then make sure I torque up the is it 13mm? The 13mm nuts. I think they need to go up to 70 Newton meters. So I've got a little torque ratchet to do that, and make sure everything's all tightened up. Well, we have a bit of a problem. It seems I have been sent the wrong pads for the rears. These look like they are fronts, not rears. So it looks like what I'm going to have to do is carry on fitting up the disc, parking brake, so on and so forth. Clean up the old pads here, make sure there's no oil on them, and then refit the old pads. And then, I mean, there's nothing wrong with these. I mean, these are, if anything, more expensive because they're larger. But I have checked the paperwork, and the paperwork says rears. But without actually seeing them and having a brake disc side by side, I'm afraid I'm not clever enough to work out that they're the wrong size. So there we go, lesson learned the hard way. Let's crack on, get this all fitted up, put back together. I'll put in the old pads, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, I've had to progress quite quickly because I'm running out of time, but I'll just briefly recap what I've done. I've been able to put in the old brake pads, and also put the rattle clip in and tap through the pins using my punch. That's all fine. I've then gone behind and torqued the bolt there, so that goes to 70, where my finger is, 70 Newton meters, and the one below as well. Equally, I've been able to put this together as well. So again, just need to be careful to make sure. Hang on, let's bring this camera around. Just need to make sure that the pins are aligned and you've got both mini pads pins going through, and then making sure that the rattle clip is secured underneath and in place there, so nice and firm. And then equally, these T45s, I think I said they were, these get tension to 70 Newton meters as well, and I just use my trusty torque wrench to do that. So this side is pretty much done, with the exception of the pads I've had to reuse. For consistency, I'm going to do the same on the other side. And what I'll need to do is, because I'm using worn pads, and they still got one, about 4mm on them, but because I'm using worn pads, it does mean I'm going to have to top up the brake fluid reservoir with some extra brake fluid, because I've obviously drained some out, thinking I was going to have a full set of new brake pads either side, but also I'm not going to have that now. So slight inconvenience, but there we are, these things happen. Alright, final stage of this process is to recalibrate the parking brake, and the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to put my foot firmly on the brake, which is quite hard anyway, and I'm also going to hold up this lever here, and then I'm going to turn the car to ignition point 2. So hopefully now, is that working? Part brake fault. No, still not working apparently. So it must be still a bit of a calibration issue. That's fine, I will try and reset it and try again. It's probably just taking up the slack, this problem. Well, I'm back from a test drive following the successful fit of the discs and the refit of the old pads. I also overcome the parking brake error. If I just spin you around, you can see we're error free now. I couldn't seem to clear that problem with the Jaguar SDD IDS setup. It let me put the electronic parking brake into service mode, but then it wouldn't let me actuate the calibration process. So in the end, the fallback position was to literally disconnect the battery, wait 30 seconds, reconnect it. That then forces a recalibration of the electronic parking brake. It asks you to put foot on the foot brake, put up the lever. That actuated the motor. I still had an error, so I repeated the process. So disconnected the battery, reconnected it after 30 seconds, did it a second time, and this time the pistons obviously is now adjusted such that the range for the electronic parking brake module was in an acceptable tolerance. So much like ordinary brakes, if you work the parking brake, the electronic parking brake, then it will eventually push out the piston and adjust and calibrate just fine. But a little bit traumatic, but all overcome now. I had to reset. I didn't have the pin for this vehicle, so I had to use the skip, AMM and PTY buttons to get past the pin. I've got a little bit of config. It's gone back to kilometers in the display just here. I can easily sort that out. That's just within IDS. I could just sort out the configuration. Otherwise, all good. Next thing will be to fit the new replacement rear brake pads once they've been sorted, because at the moment I've got the wrong size, so I've just got the old ones in there at the moment. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found some of my trials and tribulations helpful. If you did, do hit that like button. Plenty more content coming along with my cars very soon. Thanks a lot.